Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious, and that life is treating you most deliciously wherever you are. So what's the time, Mr. Wolf? So it's 10:57 a.m. In our Old England, my delicious little babies, okay, on the 8th of December 2025. Sometimes I say the date and sometimes I do not. Just depends what mood I'm in, my delicious little babies anyway. Right, now then, my delicious babies, remember the eagle wings. Now, there's a tiny bit of sunshine, not enough to sing it, and there's some not so very nice grey and white fluffy clouds, and there's a bit of blue sky. It's a little bit chilly, but not to worry, not to worry. I've got my roasties in. Okay, my delicious babies now then. 3, 2, 1, my juicy little lights. Thank you, little lights, you delicious bra. Yeah, sometimes I like breakfast, my delicious babies. That doesn't mean no, just got an itch. And other times, I think no, I'll wait until later in the afternoon. It just depends. Everything just depends what mood I'm in. See, I don't like to be told when to eat. Please do not get me wrong. I'm not saying that we must be very ungrateful and not thankful for the food on our table. What I'm talking about is it's like you got breakfast, lunch, tea, and in some cases supper. Okay, my delicious little babies, to myself, well, to be quite honest, I do not always feel hungry to eat a breakfast, a lunch, a tea, and a supper. You know what I mean, my delicious babies? Whoever invented that? I mean, if you look in the world, I mean, you do have, some cultures, they will only eat at certain times, my delicious little babies. Well, I do not feel that that's a bad thing. And if we go back decades ago, we never used to. I feel that there we are, for even say it, a very large difference decades ago, okay? What we used to eat on our plates was, full and wholesome. Okay, my delicious little babies. But it appears that what appears to be landing on our plates these days, my delicious little babies, happens to be, well, shall we just say, one's try to eat the best they can. I do that myself, my delicious little babies, okay? I mean, if there was like a farmer's truck that came round, okay, my delicious babies, and I knew for a full, 160% that it was decent grub. There we are, my delicious little babies. I just say it the way it is, okay? Then by all means you pay a little bit more. There we are, and you get what you pay for, my delicious little babies. But even in the top, you can have Waitrose, which I do, have shopping from sometimes, my delicious babies, simply because I haven't got a car at the moment. I'm not fussed about that, okay, my delicious little babies. But I do not have a car at the moment, so it's not like I could go and drive out to different places, okay? Otherwise, there we are. I would gladly do that, okay? Not a problem for myself. So right now, yes, I suppose, I am guilty of it myself. Anyway, everybody knows this, my delicious little babies. So, but even the, what you call the posher shops, you know what I mean? Well, there we are, caught out. Big times, my delicious little babies. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, okay? And one of the massive things I feel is cream and milk. There we are, also seems to be a massive issue, my delicious babies. Now, they were saying, I mean, I bought the other day, right, because I love to have a Greek yogurt. I probably would have it, I don't know, for argument's sake, probably 8 times, there we are, a month. Okay, my delicious babies. Now, that doesn't mean no, just got another itch, okay? And, but even to get Greek yogurt, and it says Greek style yogurt, Greek style, okay, my delicious babies. Now, for myself, sometimes I would have grapes, apple, pear, banana, okay? Other times I might just have pear, apple, banana, whatever. And then I have a good drizzle, there we are, of beautiful honey, okay, which actually, there we are, tastes like honey. Not just this clear shart. And please do not be fooled, my delicious babies. I do not like that word, but sometimes we have to use it. These well-known names, big names now, my delicious babies, okay? And this is what that doesn't mean. No, just so many itches this morning. This is what they work off. There we are. And this is how they get ones, my delicious babies. So somebody could spend, I don't know, up to 6 or 7 ka-ching, ching, ching squids for a honey. My delicious babies, okay? But they're going, there we are, they're going on the name. Okay, my delicious babies. So I'm not going to say, well, the buggies already know, because I've still got the buggies in my flat, my delicious babies, now outside my flat. They will already know what type of honey I use. I'm not going to say which one it is, my delicious babies, because you know what they do? They go into these supermarkets and then they F them up. There we are. Then they F them up, man. Do you know what I mean? And then they start watering things down and doing all of these awful and putrid things now. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? So that's why I'm not going to mention it. I would love to mention it. There we are. I would just love to mention it to you, but I will not. But I will tell you this, okay, just to give you a clue. It's not the most expensive. Okay, my delicious babies. There we are, a very good clue. Okay, my delicious babies. So anyway, what do I want to say? Oh, that's what I wanted to say. It doesn't mean no. What did I want to say? Oh yeah, the dear Mexican, not in that way with anybody, that I wanted to tell you the other day, went out my flipping noddle. It's only when I come, there we are, off the camera, and sometimes that happens to me, my delicious babies. It was on the tip of my tongue, and I couldn't remember what it was I wanted to say. I come off the camera and I thought, oh, I'm just going to leave it now. Do you know what I mean? Then I bloody forgot again. Anyway, doesn't matter. I could tell you now, in Italy, doesn't mean no again. Only from what the video I was listening to. And it's a recent one because I've advertised Dear Mexican, The Crow House, 3 words together, on Odyssey, Odyssee. Okay, my delicious little babies. Well, in Italy, only according to what I heard from our dear Mexican, my delicious little babies can. And if you would like to, please take a listen for yourself. Italy has had enough of their putrid governments. So what they're doing, they're stopping buying everything from like supermarkets and there we are, and all of these things now, and banks and everything. Well, guess what's happening? It's working, because without being able to, go and buy things from the supermarket, whatever else, okay, not using them, okay, we'll send these, bankrupt. There we are, my delicious little babies. Anyway, I've talked about this. That doesn't mean that. I've talked about this long time, my delicious little babies. Do you understand what I mean? And that's what I wanted to tell you. Okay, my delicious little babies. Well, anyway, good on Italy. Then you've got Germany. So I've been seeing videos to do, there we are, with Germany. So I'm not only hearing about it on other videos, I've actually seen it. When was it? A couple of days ago or something, or yesterday, or a couple of days ago. So they're getting paid off as well. There we are, my delicious babies. Do you understand what I mean? So you see what will happen? You see, this carries on. It's going to be all over the world. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? Okay, then there we are. Then they're soon going to find themselves in problems, isn't it, my delicious babies? Anyway, I want to tell you something else. Doesn't mean no. So anyway, so I was looking at the history, of the area that I live in, my delicious babies, okay? And believe it or not, even though it appears quite small, it's actually not, okay, my delicious babies. And in one part of it, I need to go back because I actually sent it to one of my dear friends, not in that way. I sent it to do with all the history, my delicious babies. And there's a part which is not very far from where me and my little, who we call our sons and daughters, my little beautiful babies live. And there's a house, and there's actually been, what do they call them? Are they archaeologists or something? Anyway, my little babies, because usually there we are, fed a load of bullshit as well. There we are, my little babies. Anyway, there seemed to be an oval house. Well, where have we heard this, my delicious babies? Because there's an oval house and stage in born in the USA. Do you know what I mean, Martlish babies? So, and of course, where I live, it's what do they call it? I forgot now. I need to parliamentary something. Okay, Martlish babies, which explains that drain lid. Martlish babies, there we are. Do you see what I mean? Okay, because that's not everywhere. I'm telling you that now, Martlish babies. Okay, and I have a habit. I look up, I look ahead, and I look down. Do you know what I mean, Martlish babies? And I look behind me, and I look to the sides of me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm telling you now, they're not everywhere. That one that I took a shorty video on, no, they're not. Okay, Martlish babies, because they've been replaced. You see, replaced. Okay, Martlish babies, just like what they're trying to do to you and I out here and our beautiful little babies, you know. Little and large animals, little and large birdies, creatures, great and small, over in our old England and all over the world. You know, they're trying to replace us as well, aren't they, Martlish babies? Well, they can effing roll on with that. There we are. Because I do not feel it's going to be going very well, Martlish babies. Okay. Now then, yeah, and just before I give you the information, so somebody sent me a message yesterday. It's clearly somebody who came for a healing at some stage, Martin Stuck Babes, okay? And they said, I'm just, words to effect, I'm just wondering if you're the one, does tarot reading. I said, yes, I do tarot reading as well. Okay, Martin Stuck Babes, anyway. And said, are you the one as well with the YouTube channel? What did I say? Propaganda. They put the words to effect that I give out propaganda. I said, no, I do not. I said, who are you and what's your name? I thought, well, I got no answer. I thought, so you can F off nasty. He said, there we are, you're going to be blocked. You know what I mean? There we are, Martish baby's going to be blocked. You see what I mean, okay? So this is clearly, there we are, I feel, somebody who has, because the majority who I happen to see very sadly have had the old jibby jab. Okay, Martlish little babies, and not just one or two. You will get a few, shall we say, who have had one. You will have many who have had two. And then you got the others where they just have their booster, you know what I mean, just to boost them up. You know what I mean, Martlish little babies, and then they wonder why they are not well. Okay, Martlish little babies, so I'm not being sarcastic at all with what I'm saying. My heart goes out to everybody, apart from the effers who pushed it, as I always say, who very sadly got coerced, there we are, forced into this putrid, nasty business. But whoever it is, if they can see me now, whoever you are, do yourself a damn favour now, okay? Because you've already been to my flat, isn't it? So whoever you are, so I'm not talking to you, Martlish babies, it's to this twat, right? Come and knock my door now and chat business, right? And talk about propaganda. Because at the end of the day, the likelihood is you probably took the flipping jibby jab, right? So don't come back to myself, telling myself that I chat flipping propaganda. Silly twat, man. Get on your back and pedal fast. In fact, get on your back, like I just said, and come and knock my door. Do you know what I mean, Martlish babies? But these will not say. How can I back up an argument, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying, yes? So they could have come back to me and said, well, I'm so-and-so like this now then, yes? There we are. But they never did it. Well, that tells me all that I need to know, isn't it? Do you see what I mean, Martlish babies? Now then, first video. I've only got, that doesn't mean no, I've only got 3 today, Martlish babies. Anyway, I wish whoever it is, there we are, wish them well. Yeah, oh yes, I do. And I hope you can see me video, right? Now then, so the first one, Martlish babies. Now, I'm a quarter of the way listening to this because it's nearly 2 hours and 20 minutes long, Martlish babies, and it's on our lovely, not in that way, our lovely dear David Ark. Okay, Martlish babies. Now then, this video should read, and it's just been uploaded, Martlish babies, just hours ago. Okay, Martlish babies. Charlie Robinson, waking up in a collapsing world Doc Malik podcast. Okay, Martlish babies. So I'm just going to repeat this again for you. Charlie Robinson, waking up in a collapsing world Doc Malik podcast. Okay, my babies. Yes, a brilliant video, because our lovely dear David Icke and his lovely dear sons Gareth and Jamie, and their lovely dear friend Richard, and their lovely dear friend Sammy, and you know, their work colleagues and everything, they're also lovely and dear, not in that way, not in that way. They do not put up a shat. Okay, my little babies, which is why I happen to adore, there we are, I happen to adore them so much. And like I will just repeat, not in that way, not in that way, okay? I share respect where respect, there we are, is 160% due. A lovely video to listen to, Martin Babies. And you know when you get sometimes Doc Malik, right? Because I'm not keen on doctors and nurses. Everybody knows that with myself, Martin Babies. I've plenty of run-ins with them over the decades, believe me on this one, okay? Sometimes he does swear, you know what I mean, Martin Babies. It sounds quite amusing, actually, you know, when he swears, Martin Babies, because you just do not expect it. But anyway, like I say, with anybody, not in that way, not in that way. But please, if you do have the time, you know, you can even save the video. Do you know what I mean? Please take a listen to this video, Martin Babies. Now, of course, with myself, I actually forward these videos to who is in my dog and burn. Martin Little Babies, me fern. Okay, so well worth a listen. There we are to this video. Okay, Martin Little Babies. Now then, the other two, and of course that you know, yes is the answer. Okay, now then, to please take a listen if you can, just a little bit of time out your day or night, please and thank you. This uploader, okay, this video is just over 25 minutes long. These last two are on YouTube, Martin Little Babies, okay? There was only ever one video uploaded, and that was 9 years ago, my delicious little babies, okay? And the uploader happens to have 919, 19. Okay, my delicious little babies, subscribers. Okay, my delicious little babies, and the uploader is called, it's all in a lowercase small letters, Despectable. I'm going to spell it out for you, my delicious little babies, because everybody knows myself that I have a very difficult time pronouncing some words, my delicious little babies. Okay, they're proper tongue twisters. Okay, so I'm going to spell it for you. Despectable. Okay, my delicious little babies. So despectable. Take or leave us, only please believe us, we are never gonna be respectable. Like or hate us, but you'll never change us, we are never gonna be respectable. You know that song, my little babies. What year was that song? And it was lovely, not in that way, not in that way. Our lovely Mel and Kim. Okay, my little babies. Oh, our poor beautiful dear little Kim. She passed away. Well, they're ever so close sisters, my little babies, and our little Mel, bless her beautiful dear little soul. She was never the same. But they were beautiful together, a duo. Do you know what I mean? As sisters. Okay. Anyway, just thought it just sort of rhymes in a way. Do you know what I mean, Mads little babies? Anyway, and the video should read the multiverse. Okay, Mads little babies, the multiverse. Okay, Mads little babies. Like I just said, I'll repeat again, just over 25 minutes long. Now, who this is, okay, is David Deutsch. Okay, my delicious babies. Now, for some alternative media, there we are. You will already know this. My delicious babies. Okay, not in that way, not in that way. But of course, for others of our delicious babies, you may not know David Douche. Okay, my delicious babies. So that is who is talking, and he's talking now. Like I said, that's 9 years ago. okay, and then, but it's when he was younger. Okay, mádlish babies. You know, he seems to have um, his office at this time, and of course, you know, it's to do with Oxford and everything in our old England, mádlish babies. And what the video's talking about is it's all quantum and everything. Anyway, I was very fascinated with it, mádlish babies. Never came up on my feed. I was actually scrolling, there we are, looking for other videos, mádlish babies, and I came across this one. Now, this is interesting again, isn't it, mádlish babies? So we seem to be seeing a lot of this, there we are, lately. Okay. That one's been putting, oh, this has come up on my feed after all these years. See what I'm saying, mádlish babies? And there's more and more, there we are, who are noticing this. I wonder why, mádlish babies, anyway. So, yeah, he talks about the quantum, he talks about everything, and he has his own little office at home. And is it the cameraman, you know, takes great pleasure out of showing, you know, because you do find this, there we are, with some academics, mádlish babies, I've known for decades, okay? Some of them are very sadly, although you got the really tidy ones, you got a lot of untidy ones, okay? Now, dear David, bless him, not in that way, dear David Douche. He has his own bookcases and filing system, mádlish babies, okay? But he knows where everything is. But what was amazing in this little video is that the one who was talking to him, you know, the interviewer, is happened to mention, you know, that it was untidy. Well, that's not why he's there. Okay, he was there to do a job, which was to interview dear David Douche. There we are. That is what he was there for. Not to look at the surroundings, because that is not important. It's like when you go to somebody's home. Sorry, excuse me. Doesn't mean no. You're not going to somebody's home to go and look at their home. Okay, you're going to visit them. Well, the same applies in this case, okay? But it's like they were trying to, there we are, to shame the poor man. Do you understand what I mean, mádlish babies? Well, it goes to show, there we are, a lack of intelligence on their part. There we are. Okay, mádlish babies, but that's just my thoughts. Okay, mádlish babies, well worth a little listen. I was very fascinated. It's not a video that I wanted to click off. I mean, I didn't want to click off this one with lovelydavidite.com. No, I'm not. It's because I'm doing my video and then I've got to turn my roasty shortly and then I've got to pop out, you know, to go and take me washing, you know, to me lovely dear little friend and neighbour, bless her, you know what I mean? So I'm going to be doing that, you see, and taking a little baby out for a walk. So I've already took my little baby out for a walk, my beautiful little Ruby Tuesday. So I'm taking a beautiful little baby out. So the final video, mádlish babies, very interesting. Now, I thought I'm going to choose this one. Now, there was only 9 videos, mádlish babies, to do with who is the uploader, David Douche. So I'm going to spell out his name, mádlish babies, okay, because he's got 10.1 thousand subscribers on YouTube, like I said earlier, mádlish babies, okay, and capital D, David, space, capital D again, Douche, I'll spell it for you, D-E-U for umbrella, T-S-C-H. Okay, mádlish babies, I'll repeat that once again for you. D-E-U for umbrella, T-S-C-H. Okay, mádlish babies. This video was uploaded 12 years ago, mádlish babies. Like I've just said earlier, 9 videos here. Interesting, you know, what I'm finding, mádlish babies. It really, really is, you know. And the video should read, why are flowers beautiful? Question mark, I'll give it to. Okay, mádlish babies, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Why are flowers beautiful? Yes, marginalistic babies, so what do we need to do? So we need to go back to where we need to go back to, marginalistic babies. Of course we're living in the present. I mean, I do not need to say that. There we are. It's rather obvious. So that's not me being sarcastic, marginalistic babies. Why do I keep mentioning where we need to go back to, where we need to go back to? Because I feel that what's happening is, I'm not talking about all of the dear uploaders out there. No, I am not marginalistic babies, okay? But there are certain who seem to be, there we are, overlooking something else, okay? Marginalistic babies, but this does not include everybody, okay? Marginalistic babies. So this video is just over an hour long, marginalistic babies, and anyway, so towards the end, and then I'll go back to the other part. Towards the end, anyway, you know, one's asked questions, marginalistic babies. This is what I like about these type of videos, okay? And somebody, either he was like a bear with a sore head, seemed to have got out of the bed the wrong way. Okay, marginalistic babies, okay, that's what seemed to have happened there. Okay, you all right, little ribs? Anyway, so, and he said, well, not all flowers. This is somebody, you know, who was, you know, when, like I've just said, when you ask like questions, things like this now. He said, well, not all flowers. This is somebody in the audience, clearly. Not all flowers are beautiful. Some are over the top. And I listened to that part, marginalistic babies, and I thought, what the flipping, you know, you can scratch your noddle, you know, your head, marginalistic babies. Not that I didn't have a clue what was going on. I was listening to the whole, there we are, of the video. Okay, marginalistic babies, when I went to my shower, I was listening to the video. Which I do that rather regularly, marginalistic babies, okay? It's just, I think, I can just carry on listening, you know what I mean, okay? And I just thought, well, what planet are you on? You've sat through the whole of what David has just said, what he's been talking about. And all that your man there can come out with is not all flowers are beautiful. Words to next, some are over the top. Well, that's not what the point was. So what is it that I'm getting across to you, marginalistic babies? What I'm getting across is, so it's very clear to myself that when your man there said what he said in the audience, so he was sat in the audience, it's very clear, but he was clearly listening, there we are, but not listening. Because if he was listening, there we are, then he would have understood what dear David Deutsch, there we are, was saying. But he didn't. And this is what we see, there we are, in the present, marginalistic babies. Okay. So you've got some uploaders, not all, who do not listen, there we are, to what other uploaders are saying. Do you see, there we are. Okay, marginalistic babies, they're just not paying attention. And that is a clear case of it's marginalistic babies, okay? And that's going back all those years ago. Okay, marginalistic babies. There was a point to what David Deutsch was talking about. He was talking about everything to do with flowers, to do with nectar, to do with paintings. He was covering, there we are, in this video of over an hour long, marginalistic babies, all different bits and pieces. There we are. That is what he was talking about. Okay. I personally, there we are, found the video to be, there we are, very interesting. Okay. And what's also wonderful about this particular video is that, you know, if you're following what's being said, it's, you see, a lot of it, and I said that when I, you know, finished listening, came off the video, Martish, but a lot of it, there we are, is ding, ding, dong, dong, common sense. But again, in the present, and we do see it with a lot of the alternative, there we are, media, not all, like I said. But they still, there we are, lack common sense. And then, of course, you have the fake in the box in the corner of the room media. Well, they're not proper journalists, are they, mad little babies either? And they too, there we are, lack common sense. Okay, mad little babies. So my point is this. I feel that if ones again have got a moment, just a moment out of your day or night with any of the videos that I've mentioned, okay, to please and thank you, take a listen, there we are, to these videos. Because they are all extremely, there we are, interesting. Okay, my delicious little babies. And of course, when ones can see it, there we are, from a different angle, that's where you can take how many pieces, bits and pieces. You can take bits and pieces, there we are, out of videos. Okay, and then you come to your own conclusion, there we are, what you felt about the topics and subjects that one talks about, there we are, on their videos. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? That's what it's all about. The way I see it is, with your man there, he maybe should have stayed in bed, there we are, that day, and not got out of bed. Because the way I see it is, there we are, to a degree, I genuinely felt, there we are, he actually brought the positive energy from the talk that David Deutsch was doing, okay? And he brought the positive energy, there we are, and then he brings in negative energy. So, in other words, he brought it down a bit. Do you understand what I mean, Mads? Baby, see, for myself, I understood fully, there we are, what David Deutsch was saying. There we are. I understood fully. And it is, there we are, common sense. Okay? But when you have somebody like that, what else is going in that, on, sorry, I need to stumble there. What else is going on in your man there, in his life, for him to be so negative? You know what I mean? Me personally, all of nature, all of beauty with bushes, trees, grass, flowers, is all, there we are, most delightful. There we are, and most beautiful. Okay? And yes, you can get these days, well, this has been going on, there we are, long time, but we're seeing it more and more, because they're clearly trying to replace anything that's natural, mad, delicious babies, which should be there. And then they spray flowers and then they do things, you know what I mean? Okay, again, this is more to do with, there we are, selling a product, like a bunch of flowers, and also to do with materialism. So we get back to that again. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? If you look at plastic stems and you look at, doesn't mean no, flowers that are made with material. Okay, of course you can have any colour that you like, but natural flowers, they're naturally beautiful. And it doesn't matter if you've got a bunch of flowers for nearly 3 ching 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 squids, or whether you've got a bunch for 500 ka-ching ching ching. It makes no difference. The fact of the matter is, the flower is beautiful. Me personally, I prefer, there we are, the cheaper flowers, okay, like spray carnations or something like this. Now, there is another one I like. And to tell you the truth, they're under 3 ka-ching, 3 quid. Do you know what I mean, Martish babies, okay? Because once they're in your vase, they look beautiful. And you can arrange them, there we are, beautiful. So, they're only the cheaper end. But you could have a beautiful, what ones I suppose would regard as beautiful flowers, because like I said, all flowers are beautiful, but some only look at the ka-ching, ching, ching, the price tag, you know what I mean, marvelous little babies, okay? I do not. Like I said, I'm not material at all, okay? I'm very thankful, there we are, to be able to even purchase flowers. Do you understand what I mean, marvelous babies? Anyway, but you could have something that's a ton, 100, ka-ching, ching, ching, and it may look nowhere near as pretty or nice as, say, a bunch of flowers that's £2.79. Do It's all about the arranging. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? But I do not believe that any flower should be at the top where, where you pay ka-ching silly amounts of pounds, shilling, pence, dollars and change. No. Because when somebody picked that flower out the ground, there we are, that was free off the land. There we are. Do you know what I mean? Not for somebody else to make a colossal, there we are, profit from. Anyway, I've just overrun my tale. I've just been rambling on about something else. Anyway, so that's the end of my video, my delicious little babies, okay, because I can smell my roasties, okay? So I'm going to have my lunch now. So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves, your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected, yes. But 3 excellent videos there today, my delicious babies. And of course, going on to our lovely deardavidart.com. There's lots of other videos. There we are. There's lots of other articles to read and, and to watch. And, it's just wonderful and delicious. Okay. And I love going on davidite.com. Do you know what I mean? My delicious babies anyway. So that's all that I have to say for today. Sorry. Excuse me, my delicious babies. So until my next video, you look after now. Oh, it's coming out more. So we're going to sing. The sun has got his hat on. Hip, 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 hooray. Love ya. Thank you for any views. Thank you for any likes. And thank you for listening. Take care. Love ya. Goodbye.